amazing. I'm so happy. Fuck. It was a long day today, but I'm so happy. Probably one of the best days of my life.
Morning. ADCC week. Fucking. I suck. 88.4, so 400 grams off the weight. This is good.
We're all good. 1 week out, on late, strong. Let's go.
Let's go.
So yeah, my name is Santeri. I'm from Finland, and I was born in Lahti, Karkala actually, in Finland in June. My parents, my mom's a teacher, and my dad works with mentally ill people. And fuck it, when I was a kid, I was always very like I have a brother, and I have a brother and two sisters now. But with my brother, we had a 3-year, still have 3-year age difference, so we were always fighting. And I started. My dad was a very good hockey player, so I started playing hockey as well. I think I was like 3 years old. As soon as I got into sports, I was always attracted by competition. And in hockey especially, we competed like almost every weekend, every Saturday we had a game. It was funny because in ice hockey, my dad used to be like a very skillful player. He would be like a offensive defense man, and I was all about like playing very aggressively. So I like to get into people's face, and I loved the checking on people, and I really enjoyed the fighting part of hockey. So when I stopped hockey, I started with karate, but I kind of figured it would be similar to MMA, which it wasn't, because we spent a lot of time doing katas and all this kind of stuff, which I wasn't too much into it, but I really enjoyed the fighting part. But in karate, we would only spar like, I don't know, a couple times a week, or maybe once a week. So that was most fun for me. And I heard in jiu-jitsu you could do that every day. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just get into jiu-jitsu. But right before I started, I saw an advert about MMA, and I was like, oh Jesus, that's even better. You can like punch people, and you can also fight almost every day. So I actually started with MMA. But in MMA, I broke my rib when I think I was 15 or just turned 16. And my parents, my mom especially, she made me stop doing MMA. So I decided to go to try out jiu-jitsu because they were really afraid of you getting punched in the head. So I went into jiu-jitsu, and I figured I'll only do that for a couple of years until I'm back. I'm 18 years old and I can do whatever I want to, and I'm 31 years old now, and I've done jiu-jitsu ever since. Never went back into MMA training, although I competed a few times in MMA. But yeah, that's basically how I started this thing. In 2009, I think I was a blue belt in jiu-jitsu already. I came to Malaga, Spain, and I just came here. I didn't speak any Spanish or anything. I just basically came to train. It was funny actually when I came here. That's the difference, because in Finland we train every single holiday and whatnot. And I came to Spain and I wrote to these guys. I found out this gym called Surunion, and I wrote to these guys, and I was very like into training. And I wrote to them like, hey, my name is Santeri, I'm a blue belt, and I'd love to come to train and whatnot. And they answered to me, yeah, come anytime and whatever. And I went to train, and there was nobody there. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And I wrote to these guys and they were like, well, of course we're not training. It's the fair of Malaga, which is like this national holiday here that lasts for 1 week. So I went there for no reason because it was closed. But after that, next week, I started to go to training and yeah, it was funny. I knew nobody here, but then after like a week, I had like 60 friends. It's a cool story. I started to train with actually the owner of Runaware. He was my first ever coach here in Spain, Pablo, and his business partner Luis as well. It was good times.
Cuando llegó a Sur Unión era un niño. Luchaba bien, pero no era ni de lejos la bestia que es ahora, en lo que se ha convertido. Se ha convertido en un hombre, pero o sea, no es porque tenga ahora 30 años, sino por la mentalidad que tiene, la mentalidad, el hambre que tiene, el ansia de conocimiento, no solamente que entrene muy duro, sino que entrena muy inteligente, entrena, mejora, es una calidad técnica la que tiene ahora que es increíble. De hecho dicen eso, ¿no? De entrena duro hasta que tus ídolos se conviertan en tus rivales, ¿no? Y luego mata a tus rivales. Pues él ahora está luchando con los mejores del mundo, con la gente que nosotros veíamos en los vídeos que seguimos viendo. Pues Santeri ahora es uno de esos. Yo era su profesor y ahora él es una fuente inmensa de conocimiento de la que yo aprendo. Eso es lo que es Santeri.
And so I stayed here for a year, but then in Finland, when you're 18 years old, you have to do the military service. It's obligatory by law. If you don't do it, you actually go to jail. So I had to go back to Finland, and I finished that as a military police corporal. And once you're done with the mili, you can do whatever you want. And that's when I started to think about being professional in jiu-jitsu. And I started to get pretty good results. And that's when I decided to go as pro as I can. And I applied to go to the Sports Institute of Finland to be a professional athlete there. And for some stroke of luck, I actually got into that school. And basically that's how I became the man that I am today. I learned a lot in that school, and that really shifted my results and whatnot. And I won the Nogi Euros when I was there, and I won a couple other tournaments, and I became one of the best fighters in Finland at my belt level back then. So after I finished that school, I think I started in 2011, so we finished it around 2013, 2014. And that's when I was really like motivated to be very much into being a pro athlete. So that's when I came to Spain, actually, back to Spain. I had an opportunity to go work here in Malaga in a gym, and I went there to teach jiu-jitsu. I was like 22 years old and a brown belt back then. And first year I was here, I still got good results. I got silver place at the Euros. And then results started to come in, and that's how I also met my business partner, who's my current business partner here, Luke Barnett. He was straight out of the UFC, and we were similar aged and very much into training. So we were both working in another place in Malaga, and that's how we became friends. And then we actually decided to open our own thing shortly after meeting, and that's how we still have our business here in Torremolinos called Lilius Barnett Martial Arts. I believe in the first month we had like 12 students in total. The beginning was rough, but little by little we always saved a lot of money, and we started to invest it back to the location. And I believe a lot in hard work, and which is the same, but I'm also teaching to my students here. But what we also always did, which was smart from my side, is that we did this thing called the open mat training, which was like the name is, we did every Wednesday we had an open mat, which means that anyone can come to train. Because my idea was that I was pretty good, so I need to roll with every kind of people that I could have access to. So what happened is slowly by slowly people started to come to these open mats, and I believe at the time we had one of the best open mats ever in history of Spain, Spanish Jiu-Jitsu, because we had a lot of black belts. Sometimes we would have like 15, 20 black belts in one mat, and we would all train together. And we still have this Wednesdays and Saturdays. We still have open mat training. Now we shifted it a little bit more towards competition open mat, so we only do rounds and we do very specific training, but it's still on and everyone's still more than welcome to come and train. And I believe that's something that really separated us from other gyms, because we've always been very open-minded in everything, and I'll train with anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're good, I will train with you.
Ok chicos, vamos a luchar, 6 minutos.
Second round. Hard work.
Training with Santeri is hard. It's super hard. Es duro todos los días.
Se hace al final lo que él quiere que se haga, ¿no? En la lucha.
But it's, how can I explain it? It's really, you feel good after, you know, because you feel the improvement. Entrenar con él es un lujo, es un privilegio.
Y nosotros estamos felices de tenerlo aquí.
Como luchador, a día de hoy es una bestia.
Yo lo conozco hace unos 15 años aproximadamente y es en la mejor forma física que yo lo haya visto nunca.
For ADCC, I think he's 100% ready. I haven't seen him as fit, strong. He doesn't get tired. He's technically sharp. I think he will be 100% ready. People will be surprised. I think he's the dark horse of the division. Es completo en todo, tiene una lucha espectacular, tiene un suelo espectacular, defensas de llaves espectaculares. En todo destaca, es un luchador muy completo. Creo que es la vez que más completo y más duro le he visto.
Seguro va a hacer mucho ruido en el ADCC en Las Vegas, porque ya te digo, está en el mejor momento.
Y va a dar mucho de qué hablar en esa ADCC, seguro, seguro. Está muy fuerte y mentalmente es una persona que nunca le vas a ver rendirse, jamás. Puede perder en la pelea, pero en su mente él nunca ha perdido. Nunca se ha rendido en una pelea.
All right, actually, I'm really good friends of Santeri, and actually I have a funny story because when I started in this gym, actually it took almost 6 months before I rolled first time with Santeri. Because Santeri is a great dude, but he doesn't talk so much. So even though we are both from Finland, Santeri doesn't talk so much, but I talk all the time. So I think we have a good balance in there. So because we are totally different guys, but we are from the same country. It's amazing. But daily training with Santeri, I absolutely love it. He has a totally different style of teaching because I'm everywhere all the time and I like to be on my hands on everything. But Santeri has this more calm style, you know, teaching. And we talk about this many times, and I always love when Santeri teaches something that he uses in the competition, because that's something that really gets me excited, because I have seen him does these same techniques. For example, my favorite, especially with the gi, he does this muscle sweep, and he basically does it to everybody in the world. And he shows the same techniques to us, so we are very fortunate to have that kind of a teacher in our gym. And Santeri's teach of styling he's more calm, and he focuses on details, and he doesn't talk so much, but many times that's a good thing. And even though Santeri doesn't talk so much all the time, but always when you ask for him, oh, Professor Santeri, can you please help us? He always comes and he help for you in the details or whatever you want from him. So I love training with Santeri, and my main trainings, because I teach a lot for myself also, so my main trainings, what I try to be here is always Monday and Friday, because then Santeri is teaching the gi class, so ideally I do no gi with Santeri Mondays and Fridays, and that's the best way to start a week and end the week. So, but amazing teacher, and I've seen the growth last like 4 or 5 years, because I think a few years ago Santeri didn't enjoy teaching so much than nowadays. Nowadays he's also enjoying the process of being teacher, you know, because when you teach a lot, that also makes you better in my mind in jiu-jitsu overall, because you need to recap those techniques and you need to go through it many times, and it's super nice to see. And also Santeri, as a friend, he has a little bit more relaxed, you know. And I told Santeri like one year ago, so his prime is still on the way. So maybe that was a sign, and now we are there. He's gonna compete at the highest level. So, but it's amazing. It's amazing. He has grown as a man, really huge amount. Last few years, he has become more confident, more calm, and more like hands down. He was a little bit like a distant before, but now he's more with the people, and I love to see that, because he's a funny dude and he's a great friend. He's a great friend, so I'm happy to see him grown as a fighter and as a man. So all the best, and go get those. Boom.
2020, right before the COVID, I had a very good gi season. I got third place at the Adult Euros as a black belt, and I got third place at the UAE Grand Slam in London, and I beat some good people, and I felt like I was really reaching my peak in the gi. I was training hard for the World Championships, and the fucking coronavirus came, and basically the whole world shut down. But during the lockdown, I had a lot of luck, because what happened is that Spain allowed training quite, I wouldn't say early, but they opened earlier than other countries. So we were able to train here already. And one of the guys that I met during the COVID, there was this tournament in England. Polaris had this squad tournament, and we competed there, which was a no-gi tournament, a grappling tournament. We competed there against team from England and Ireland, and Team Europe actually lost to Team Europe and Team England and Team Ireland. And the guy that beat the fighter from Europe team, Tom Halpin, was one of the guys who actually came over to Spain to train with me during the COVID. He decided that Ireland is closed and he would like to do something, and he came here, and he was always like, because I was still training no-gi with him because he was here, but he was like, but still a little bit more focused in the gi, and he was always like, hey man, why don't you, like, you could do ADCC, and I was like, get the fuck out of here, there's no way I could do ADCC. I don't know much about grappling, and I haven't done it. And he was like, oh man, your style would be good for that, and he a little bit gave me the idea to do the trials. I never even figured I would do those before. It wasn't something, I always had my goals in the gi, but he was pushing me, and I was like, just like, fuck it, I'll just give it a shot. And the funny thing is that I really started to train very hard in no-gi after I met Tom and trained more grappling wise. Till that, we actually had a English guy who moved over here as well. He's an owner of one of the biggest shows in Europe called Grapplefest, and he was another one who came, and he's all about grappling, and he was always like, man, your style is very good for grappling. And I was like, I don't know, but I was like, if Tom says this and if Chris Thompson says this, maybe I should listen to them. So what I did is I decided to dedicate myself after COVID a little bit more towards grappling. And I went to Poland to train with the guys, and I was feeling very good, and then I fucking blew my knee and I missed the first ADCC trials. So the training for the ADCC trials was, yeah, it was crazy. First ever trials, I won the Spanish Nationals in ADCC. That was my first ever ADCC tournament with, they have a little bit different rules with heel hooks and the time and whatnot. And I had a knee surgery, and the trials were coming in like 5 months time. It was more than that, like 6-7 months time. But the knee surgery took some time, and also during my preparation for the ADCC, my son was born. My boy Ivor was born in November in 2021, and the trials were in May. And yeah, it was crazy. I was training with not much sleep, and I had a knee surgery done, so my knee wasn't so great back then, but I'm lucky to have very good doctors and very good physios around me, and also I'm just crazy. I'll just train. If I don't sleep or if I don't eat, I don't care. I will just train. So I don't particularly remember these times really well because I was very sleep deprived. from having the baby, and my wife ended up getting a C-section, like an emergency one. So she was very hurt after the childbirth, and so basically I was training and taking care of the child and everything, and it was just crazy period of my life.
We met more like 13 years ago in Finland. We lived in the same city and we pretty much both trained jiu-jitsu, but we didn't get together actually before I was 21, I think, so forever ago. We were both like, I was a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, he was a brown belt, and we were just competing together and traveling the world and living the jiu-jitsu dream life. Santeri as a partner and father is just, well, I mean, all three go together. So as a father, partner or husband, and then as an athlete, like, I think the best way to describe him is hardworking. Like, I've never seen anything like it, and I've never met anyone with the motivation he has, and it's in all aspects of his life that he cares about. Like, if he cares about a thing, he will give it his all, his everything. I think a good example is when I gave birth and it was an emergency C-section, and I had a really rough time recovering, and basically for the first month of our son's life, Santeri was just doing everything. I was in bed, all I had to do was I was breastfeeding our son and nothing else. So he took care of absolutely everything while working his butt off for the ADCC trials. For me, one of the nicest things to see is the difference in his personality when he is with Ivor versus compared to everything else. Because with Ivor, it's so cute, and they have this amazing bond. Like, the first thing our son wants to do when he wakes up is to see Santeri. Whenever Santeri comes home from work, it's just his whole face lights up and he just wants to run to the door to hang out with Santeri, basically. And no matter how tired he is, how tired Santeri is, he can have there's been a brutal training session and he's not slept well and he's cutting weight, so he's not eating. No matter how tired he is or what's happening in his life, he always has time for our son. And it's a thing I don't understand how he does it, because he's for now, he's not eating, he's just training crazy hours a day. And still with Ivor, you would never know. You would never know he's going through all that when he's with his son.
Going into the trials, I felt extremely confident. I had done really well in training with guys who have done extremely well, and having Chris and having people like Tom really helped me. They helped me mentally prepare for it, and then we had extremely good training here at the gym for those trials. And going into it, I felt confident but very nervous, because I knew that I only have one shot. It was the second trials of the year. There's only two, and if I don't win, I will not go to the ADCC of this edition of the 2022 ones. So I was nervous, very nervous going into it. But I think things were meant to be that day. I had 7 matches. My first guy didn't show up, and then I had a guy from Italy whom I leg locked. Then I had a guy from England. I beat him by points. And then my usual luck started to hit in. So when the brackets came out, I looked at my first 3 opponents and I go, okay, I know these guys, but I know that I can beat these guys. But after that, some stroke of luck gave me everyone who is good, they were almost at my side of the brackets. So on my 4th match of the day, or 3rd match of the day, I fought this crazy Polish guy that I didn't know who he was, but he was extremely good. And straight after I fought with him, they put me in with Ben Dyson, who was the champion in 2019, also ADCC veteran and ADCC European champion. So I knew he was going to be one of the toughest guys that I would fight there. So and I got him straight after I fought this Polish guy. So it was crazy. But I managed to win that match, and then I fought a Polish guy called Piero Frejovic, who was one of the champions of years before as well. I believe he won it in 2017. And after that match, I was already at the finals. And basically when I got to the finals, because so many times in my career I felt very like I'm almost there. But I remember that day I decided that I will win. I would die or win that match. And I was even counting in my head that if I get put in a heel hook, I still had enough time to get my knee fucked, do a surgery, recover, and fight at the ADCC. So my mindset was honestly win or get killed there. And I managed to win the finals against the current European. He won the GI Euros. He was the guy actually who beat me at the 2020 GI semifinals. And I managed to win that match as well. And then now we're heading into the ADCC 2022.
Claro, el que conoce el mundillo puede decir, no, es que imposible. Imposible no es. Imposible no es porque él se ha ganado su puesto por la puerta grande, se ha ganado su puesto ganando a todos en Europa, ganando a bestias. Nosotros entrenamos con él en el gimnasio, viene la élite de Europa a entrenar y, como se dice, ¿no? Las cosas del gimnasio se quedan en el gimnasio, pero él está capacitado para luchar con cualquier luchador élite de Europa y más pesados que él. Y con luchadores de élite mundial que han venido al gimnasio. Entonces, imposible no hay nada. Y si está ahí, ya se lo ha ganado. Y si lo ha hecho una vez, lo puede volver a hacer. Que los otros ahora mismo son los mejores del mundo, pues él ya tiene un grupo con los mejores del mundo. Y puede ser el mejor. A mí me encantaría.
Basically, the preparation for the ADCC World has been, I figured the trials were crazy, but this World's camp has been something special. But basically every day for me is similar. I'm like a fucking animal. I do the same things all over again every day. So I wake up really early in the morning because my baby boy wakes up at 6 or 7 a.m. and that's more or less when I'm up as well, 7, 8 a.m. I take my dogs out, eat the same breakfast as I eat every single day, come to the gym, depending, I might have 2 classes or 1 class, I might do strength and conditioning, I might do something, but having a child and training full time requires a lot of sacrifice from my significant other, so just basically trying to do what I can to help my wife be with the baby and training full time.
Niin tuli rappuja. Mikä sun paino siis oli tänä aamulla? Ai eikö sulla hyvä vai?
Ei kun oli niin alkoa, mutta siis se oli se nousu, että mä sain jäädellä sitten.
Kirottu soppa.
Everyone go! Come on, on the single leg. Let's go! 1, 2, 3. Let's go! Stop! No hands up. Fire your opponent. 20 seconds. I want this takedown, Santeri. Nice! Nice! Up! Come on, up. Let's go. Start it again. Start it again. This is the ADCC finals. Let's go, Santeri. 30 seconds break, guys. We've got 6-7 minutes left. Breathe. Breathe. Put the pace on him, Alan. Put him on. More pressure. More pressure. I don't care if you make a mistake, bro. Just pressure. Make him work. 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Work it. Work it. Drive. 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 Yes. This is to win it. Make it happen now. 30 seconds. Make it happen, Santeri. Fake. Down. Don't stall. Whatever you can. Let's go. Good. Come on. Let's go. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Drop the head. Yes. 10 seconds. Ride him out. Nice. Go.
The interesting thing about this camp has been that I'm only focused on this one. I don't give a shit about anything else right now. My whole life is planned towards September 17th. So I don't have, usually I always had a couple tournaments lined up or some ideas that I'm gonna do this, but I haven't done anything else except train for ADCC. And my whole mind has been on ADCC ever since I won the trials. So that's something that's been very much into my head every single day. Everything I do has been geared towards these World Championships.
People don't realize how he has given his everything to this and how motivated he is and how hard he's worked. Like he's been training all around the Europe, just having people coming here to help him, working every single day.
Ha tenido un campo de entrenamiento serio, campo de entrenamiento rodeado de élites mundiales como él y seguro que va a dar lo mejor de sí y no me sorprendería para nada, sino es más, lo espero que gane.
He'll ask anybody questions in order to improve. So not only me, I'm a certified doctor since 2011. I'm a internal medicine specialist. So when I started working out there, you just ask questions and I would just answer them, and then we started having like longer conversations, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then we decided to start to work together. I kind of cleaned up his diet, and my idea was to keep him closer to his fighting weight. So don't balloon up because you weigh in on the same day usually. So be on fight weight, be strong at the fight weight, be conditioned at the fight weight, and be just a well-oiled machine. Now we're 1 week out of ADCC Vegas Worlds, and he's made weight about a week and a half out of fight day. So he's on weight, he's the strongest he's been, he's conditioned, and he's at the weight. And now he's ready for the highest level competitors in the world. And I think we're gonna get it.
Yeah, it's been crazy because I see all my opponents and everyone who's doing ADCC having camps in America and doing this and that. And I went to fucking Poland. I've never heard of anyone going to train, to prepare in Poland. Funnily enough, because that's where I also got hurt in 2021. But I have a very good relationship with my Polish brothers, Kamil and Mateusz. I met these guys when I did the Polaris squads, and I believe these guys are one of the motivation for me to do ADCC. They were also always telling me that I should do that, I should try, and they were also encouraging me a lot to do this. So I decided that for my camp for this one, I will go to train with these guys. So I went to Mateusz's gym in Koszalin. I went there for 10 days to train, and I also did the Leglock camp, which is where I blew my knee the year before in Poland, which is basically you're in these woods, in this like a camping site with 100 other peoples. There was UFC fighters, there was MMA fighters, there was champions of ADCC from years before, and then just high level ambient and very competitive, and the food is terrible and you sleep like shit, and it's just awesome. It was just awesome. Every day you fight for hours, and in Poland it's different, man. The training is to kill or be killed. It's nothing like, they're very nice people, but when they fight you, they will fight you. And I like that. For me, it's something that I think it really put me in a good spot in my head, because every fight is a fight. You will go as hard as you can, and they will try to get you, and you will try to get them, and there's no weakness in play when you train like that. And I enjoyed it, and I think that set my mind and especially my fitness and my body into a very strong shape. And now we're here. I've done the camp and I survived. So many people said to me that you're gonna get hurt if you do that, and I didn't, knock the wood. And here we are. We've got 10 days to go for the ADCCs, and this is the best I've ever been. The strongest, the fittest. My cardio is good, and I feel extremely confident going into this one.